Welcome to episode 36 of Producer Talk with Bass Kleph. Today, I'm rejoined by Travis Emmons, DJ, producer, mentor, man behind 4 Eons Records, and one of my best friends. Now, if you've been in the deep house world for a minute, you've probably heard his name. He's landed 2 number ones on Beatport, he's held the top spot for 9 months at one point, and he's dropped releases on labels like Glasgow Underground, Rob Soul, Mobley, and more. His tracks have been played by everyone, from Clapton to Rufus Du Sol, and his label's been pushing a fresh blend of disco, jazz, hip-hop, and deep grooves. But beyond that, he's also one of our lead mentors at our school, helping producers with everything from remixes to songwriting, DJing, and building a proper artist career. We're keeping it casual for this one, just hanging out because he was just on the show recently too. We're just going to chat about what we've been up to and seeing in the studio and with students and out in the scene. So yeah, I hope you enjoy it, guys. Let's dive in. Welcome back to the show, Travis. How's things, man?
Good, thank you. Thanks for having me back.
It's good to have you back on, man.
Yeah, coming in now from Europe this time, but yeah, super stoked to be here.
I know, it's great to have you over in this side of the world for a change. What are you up to? What's been going on? What are you doing over here?
Yeah, just taking a month. Been in London the last 4 or 5 days, and yeah, just kind of taking it easy before I head to Ibiza for the first time. Yeah, and then I'll be out here working, just kind of recording and doing some other projects. But yeah, it's kind of a little bit of both, like business and a little vacay because my birthday's next week. So yeah.
That's right. We're going to do some celebrating. I'm excited to catch up with you while you're here.
Yeah. Oh yeah. And then that going to Spain, of course, we're going to come hang with Stu for a little bit and catch up. So yeah, excited.
It's going to be good times, man. So do you say first time going to Ibiza, yeah? You excited?
Yeah, super excited. It's been a dream for a long time. So yeah, I got lots of places to check out, and yeah, a whole itinerary, and rented a car, and yeah, everything's good to go. So I'm super pumped.
Amazing. What are your top main kind of clubs or music kind of related places you'd love to see?
Well, for one, like the sunset, like beach setting, that's definitely number one for me. Like just seeing sunsets and sunrises there, like, and just kind of capturing the ambiance. And I'm hoping, just to rub off on me and get some inspiration. And yeah, definitely like Cafe Mambo type stuff or Cafe Del Mar.
Yeah.
That's definitely my favorite stuff. But of course, I want to see the mega clubs too, like Universe is the one I've been eyeing. We're going to definitely pop into the classics like Pasha and stuff. So
awesome.
Yeah, just try to bounce around and get a little bit of everything in. It's going to be probably busy, but I'm so excited.
You already know any of who's playing on those dates? Are you going to be there?
Yeah, so I'm going to go to the Defected party. I'm going to go see my friend Camilo Franco. He has a boho party. So yeah, and then yeah, I forgot what else I'm doing. But yeah, those are the 2 things. I have my first day planned, and then I'm just going to basically wing it.
I'm sure there's going to be plenty of amazing choices.
Yeah, no, and I've heard some stuff also too on the other side of the island that it's like a must. I need to check out, which it's kind of more the local scene. It's not like the super touristy place. So I'm excited to like go to different places there too that are not just
totally, man,
the usual ones.
Lots of beautiful stuff there that's not necessarily even club related as well.
Yeah, so I think a good mix of day activities as well as nighttime.
Awesome. I'm sure you're going to come back with some stories. Speaking of stories and music, you said you're still doing a little bit of work on music while you're traveling. What have you been working on lately?
Yeah, so I'm still doing sessions with, of course, mentor students. And yeah, so that doesn't stop. I just try to move schedules around and make sure that we can still do that. And then, of course, still doing recording with Dr. Jimbo and like my other project that I have going on. We probably have like the beginning of 3 albums going right now.
Amazing.
So I feel like, yeah, I'm going to launch, he's going to do his solo album and then print that on vinyl. And then, yeah, do some stuff on 4 Eons and maybe some other labels too.
Tell us a bit more about that. I think you mentioned it a little bit last time you were on the show. Tell us a bit more about this project you got going on with him. Yeah,
so what I forgot to mention last time is he's an amazing songwriter and guitar player on top of all the other stuff he does. He's had these songs forever and just has been practicing guitar his whole life basically. So it's cool to be able to capture these things that have been around and been worked on for many years. And yeah, it's really coming together. I feel like we have kind of a unique thing going where he's really good at other things, or I'm good at activating him, and you know what I mean? We kind of have this thing where complement each other, and yeah, we've just been having tons of fun and just get really experimental, but also really creative with the storytelling and the big picture stuff.
How would you? I've heard a few of the tracks and they're super original sounding. So I mean, I can already picture what it sounds like, and I'm blown away by his voice too. But how would you describe the sound of it? Because people haven't heard it yet. Yeah,
it's kind of like, I would almost kind of picture his voice very much reminds me of Jim Morrison, but so we do a lot of talk. He's really good at talking, and he has we have some westerny kind of vibe stuff, but imagine that with like a march. It's like 111 BPM with a really fat synthy bass line that's playing some westerny kind of melody, and the story is about a Wild West town that nobody's heard of, but it was even more crazier than Tombstone and all the ones that are in the stories that they tell about, and it's in Nevada, called PH Nevada. And I'm just thinking of one particular one that was really fun.
They still got your kind of like signature sort of deep house
beat. Yeah, feels like house
beats as well. Yeah,
it's a deep house song, and it has like all gunshots and a bald eagle and stuff. Yeah, and just like it's very fun, and I feel like it has this other thing in it that's missing in music that feels live, and it feels like it's already an old song.
The sound of his voice, when the first time I heard it, I thought it was something he'd sampled from decades ago. Like, it just sounds like that era straight away.
Yes. Retta, my wife is just texting me like, what the hell? Because I sent her a voicemail.
Yeah.
It's never happened before.
I'm sorry, I'm on the podcast, honey.
But yeah, so it definitely does have this, like, we're able to really create something that feels timeless to me, and the song storytelling and songwriting is there, and it's very original, like you said. I would almost say like influenced by, I already said Mark Farina, like mushroom jazz stuff, but also we have some stuff that's, I would say, kind of soulful, lo-fi, hip-hop-y, all the way into, but like still feels like me, you know what I mean? It's kind of weird. It's like me trying to go to different genres and
that been like sort of, I must be pushing your boundaries a little, or maybe what's the experience been like?
Yeah, so I mean, I feel like it's just trusting my taste and still using my similar workflow and everything that I teach, and practice what you preach kind of thing, and just really getting the sketches to be good. And it's they're all usually pretty much like one take things.
Wow.
They come out of us pretty fast. And some of these things we don't know what the voice is, but we make the music, or he'll read a poem to me and I'll be like, oh, it sounds like this in my head, and I'll make something, and before you know it, we're like all collaborating and agreeing on the stuff, and then it's gets on his mic and we're just in a good zone. He has his words there and he starts to hear the song. He's like, I think I got a song now. And then boom, just usually one take, and then maybe we'll replace a couple words here and there, but it's raw like that. And I think I like it like that. It feels a mix of live instruments, almost a little demo-y, lo-fi, and definitely some hip-hop influences, and but not hip-hop like what you would think. I like more like mushroom jazz kind of hip-hop,
right,
where it's super musical. It's like sampley jazz stuff, so there's a mix of everything, really, what we've been doing. I have even one that's kind of disco-y, and it's like 120 BPM. I have another one. We've been recording with my guitar player Nathan here in London too, and he just laid down some amazing guitars on one of our collabs that I wrote 4 years ago with him. And he's like, I want to replace the guitars, and I was hesitant because it was already so good, but he did make it better, and now it feels like even more like our other stuff, because I was kind of telling him what I wanted, and it made it feel kind of surf westerny kind of with the tremolo on and reverb on the guitar, where it feels really like it matches our other stuff now. Yeah, it's really cool.
Amazing. It sounds like the collaborating is going really well. How important would you say it is for people in general, producers, to be collaborating, and how can it help them?
I mean, just pushing yourself out of what, that's what it does, is it's like putting two minds together. And if it's collaborating with somebody, especially that has something that you don't, that fills, the things that maybe you're not so good at, find someone who could complement you and that you both respect each other and like, value each other's opinion. And I think you do things together like that. I feel like that's when great things are made. I think everyone these days tries to do things themselves and think that they have to do everything themselves. And if they don't realize that all these big songs that everybody knows, and most pop music has like 25 people on a song. Yeah. I mean, you could cut yourself a little break and just ask for help or get the very best things. And you don't have to be good at every single thing yourself.
Yeah, and it's just
yeah, and then all you really have to do is know what is good.
Yeah, which is still a big skill in itself.
A skill.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
But just like he says, out there, but talk to some people, make some friends, and I bet they'll be happy and stoked to share the workload and do projects together. We have a community that's great for this stuff too. You should check out our website at basskleph.com too. There's a free community that's super cool where everybody's really passionate about music and helping each other out. All positivity and good vibes only. Yeah, super cool. But man, what about, has there been anything difficult so far in the collaboration? Any challenges you had to work on as a producer?
Oh, for sure. Some of these songs were recorded live, like the first 5 songs that we did. It wasn't even done with a microphone. It was on like a sketch pad. It was never meant to be a finished song. It was just him recording it. And so, of course, this is kind of how we got started. I heard these songs and I was like, this is amazing. I produced it into a song and added drums, bass, synths, and effects, and made something that was just started on a guitar and with his voice. But then there's other songs I took, I split it up, and it was a lot harder because I didn't know where, once I split it up, didn't know like where things went, and I'm messing with triplets. And so now I have to warp his guitar and his voice, and then I kind of have to find where it feels right, and then where's the drums. Some of them were harder than others because it wasn't, they're recorded completely, while he's playing, so it's trying to make it sound
not recorded to a click track or anything. Yeah,
exactly. So I mean, of course, that's where my warping of 17 years of warping audio comes in handy.
That'd make a great t-shirt or something. 17 years of warping.
Yeah, warps. Transient, no transient left behind.
Yeah, exactly. Amazing. See, because you've done so many remixes, huge ones as well too. You find that's helping out a lot of in the way you approach this project?
Yeah, I basically look at everything the same. It doesn't, if it matter a remix or an original, it's still music, and I'm just trying to make it good and interesting and different. Still us, how can you? And I feel like we have a lot of years between us, but we both like a lot of the same stuff and different stuff too, completely different. You have to respect those things and just try to make something in between that. You know what I mean? And then it's like everyone could like this stuff because it's great.
Yeah, exactly. And you said you got loads of tracks, almost 3 albums worth, but there's a plan, right? How's it coming out? What kind of order?
It's kind of changed as we've gone along because things have we've kind of let the music guide us. Some songs sound completely different than others, but I feel like that's just maybe a different album or a song in the future where it's a collaboration album. So that's what we're thinking. We're going to have some more, the ones that we've written together that's started from us from scratch. We'll have a collaboration album. And then the other stuff, which is all him, that, mostly his guitar things, I'll just be in the credits and I'll help him finish it and be behind the scenes more on that one, let him take the spotlight. But of course, we're going to write new ones for that too. And, but yeah, it's kind of, And then there's probably a few singles on there too, which I'd like to do on my record label.
Yeah, on 4 Eons. I was going to ask you about that too, actually. Like, what's the latest news with 4 Eons? Any new developments, signings, or releases we should know about?
Yeah, I'm definitely have some of the guys that you already see on the label. We have, follow-ups coming out. Yeah, so I got one, definitely more than one. Scott Clark, one with La Mirage from Paris. Some really good stuff. Yeah, I feel like, the Scott Clark one too. I got a really funky one. It's kind of West Coast funky, like house track. Really, really cool. Yeah, and then I still have a bunch in the pipeline that I'm like deciding what I want to do next. But yeah, Get Money too is the one with Bane he's a resident from Gospel in New York. Yeah, that one's one of the last one that just came out that we talked about last time. That one's been doing pretty good. I feel like that one's a weapon. It's like a first time I've released house, like going from deep house to be like, I think this is more house than it is deep house.
Excellent. What kind of stuff are you looking for the label these days? Like if people were to send you demos and stuff, what would you look for in a potential song?
So definitely sound selection is huge for me. I like the sound palette to feel like creative and but may also kind of classic sometimes. Like it could be classic but feel like this is a new way of this kind of thing. But also just musicality. I any kind of music could win. I could help change something if I like, you know what I mean? If I like it enough and the music's really good.
Yeah.
I could be like, man, I'll fix the sounds.
We'll get it by you.
Yeah, exactly. And or mix down stuff is nice, but we can fix those things. So it's not, it's mostly the big picture stuff is what I'm looking for, like the idea of it. How do you ask for it? And do I see people wanting to play this or DJ it? I look at it like that. Would I buy it if I was searching on a store?
Yeah, yourself. Yeah, absolutely. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's so true, right?
That's the first. Yeah. So any of those that I'm like I would buy, usually those are the ones I want to sign. If it still fits in the category of what I'm trying to do with the label, kind of thing.
Right. Often, I'm sure maybe a lot of people can relate to this, that when you're looking for tracks on Beatport, so often you'll get impatient and just skip through and go straight to the just before the drop and have a listen to the breakdown going into the drop to decide, what do I think about this? Do I like this vibe here? And I think so often people don't think about that when they're making their own tracks though too, and they're just putting all this stuff in there and not enough attention on that drop moment. Do you ever do that as well, or is it just me?
I definitely used to worry more about the drop than I do now. I kind of I do skip though. Like I do skip through. I'll sometimes only listen to a couple seconds here and there. I'll just do one there and one there and then see, oh yeah, okay, let's listen to it more, but I tend to go off of two more artists that I follow and labels. Like once you build a database of like what you wrote, what kind of artists you like, what kind of music you want to make, and enough labels and dream labels that you'd like to be signed to or that are doing something similar to what you like. And you can kind of just have enough of those, even say 100, and they're all putting out stuff. You got plenty of things coming out. You just have to build like a roadmap almost of like what kind of stuff you want to do or what's your formula and who's doing that kind of thing.
Yeah, and it's good to be aware of that and do that research, that digging. But I agree with you. Yeah, the songs need to grab us immediately. In a couple of seconds, you should be like, oh, tell me more.
Yeah. Right? And that often you can't hear all your complexity stuff that everyone's trying to put in there in those few seconds.
Yeah.
And you know what I mean? It's just mostly keeping it simple and having it be like feel huge in those little seconds.
Yeah. It's just got to immediately feel right. Like I guess that, like you're saying, the sound selection, the sounds you choose and decide that you personally put together and what those sounds are doing together, what musically you're doing and not doing. Yeah, you can hear it, right? As soon as you put on a great song that it just grabs you, oh, I want to know more about this. And other songs, you just want to press skip straight away.
Yeah. I would say goes for the same when I'm writing music or when I'm trying to finish music. Usually there's something clicks where it's like, this feels like a record. This feels like this is something like it feels like a record to me, not like this is a bunch of individual things that are working together or what's exactly going on there, trying to do math in my head or something. It just feels like a record. That's it.
Very true. That's a good point. That's a good thing for everyone to look out for. A lot of things have changed over the last year or so. Has anything changed in your approach to producing or even DJing in the last year?
I will say I haven't been DJing as much this last like 6 months or so. It's a little, I just kind of more am focused on a lot more of the production thing. And I think that I can only DJ so much these days. I used to try to do all these long DJ sets and stuff, and it takes a lot out of me. I'm 41, about to be next week. But I still love it. And I think maybe I'm trying to pull back a little bit so I could maybe get the gigs I want. I think I'd rather focus more on, I don't want to just do every little gig I can right now. I only have so much time left, and I want to, I'm just saying, like, as a DJ, or that I could be doing this. And I think sometimes you almost have to make scarcity or just, take a step back to take a step forward.
Totally, man. Totally. It's the things you say no to. Yeah. And by putting that extra effort into the production and the releases and the label and things too, that brings in those more ideal shows by getting your sound out there and building the right kind of audience, right?
Yeah. And I think maybe I still want to, I think maybe they feel a little more appreciated, like when I'm out of the country for some reason.
Yeah.
Like in Europe, you're exotic coming from America, I guess, or it's just also our music is more popular in Europe.
Yeah,
so that makes sense.
Exactly. That must be nice, yeah, right? Like when you come over and play shows in Europe, and you notice a difference in the reaction and the vibe.
Man, last time when I played that festival at Oktoberfest, the last night I played, I did play the headline set, and when I finished, there was like a line of like 50 people that wanted to meet me and stuff. It was crazy.
Amazing.
I'd never had that before, so that was like a surreal moment. But it was not like the biggest festival ever, but it was fun, and I felt like very grateful to be a experience that. And I felt like, man, this is what it's supposed to feel like when you play a show, or like, I don't know, like it definitely doesn't happen that often for me. And maybe it's just because I'm in my comfort zone kind of thing too. And you're more likely to be friendly when you're not, if you just have your friends and stuff, you're not going to go out and meet people. Like, you kind of got to put yourself out there. And
I think you raise a good point too, that very often your core audience or your best fans, they're not necessarily living in your town. They could be anywhere in the world. Your audience could be anywhere. So a lot of people get really hung up on thinking, I have to write the sound that's popular in my town or at my local club. The sound you secretly wish you could be writing, the one you love.
That's what you should do.
Because there's going to be places around the world, or at least in other parts of your country, but definitely around the world, where they absolutely love that sound, and they would be, just like you're saying, lining up to meet you after the show, and so stoked that you made all those records and everything. So, yeah, I totally think we should all be just making what we love and letting that sort of connect us with that right audience.
Yeah, I just feel like also too, traveling is the dream, really, and I've always wanted to do more of it. But yeah, I also do love LA. I'm not saying anything bad about LA. That's definitely my, yeah.
But yeah, great to travel, great to see different parts of the world and the experience of it as well too. Yeah, I agree, man. I agree. But yeah, get back to production. What else is like any new techniques you've been obsessed with lately? Maybe something's come up because you're working on this new project.
I would say we do a lot, kind of try to keep it jammy, if that makes sense. So, yeah, like a lot of what we do is we just get like some chord progression, usually the first thing we start with. And it could be piano, guitar, like something, a real instrument, where I'm just liking the music that's playing, not the sound of it. And then I'll get some drums and some bass and some rhythm and stuff, and kind of get somewhat of maybe it's a 4-bar loop, let's say, for this instance. And once that feels really good, and I'm like, man, this is a vibe, then we might start jamming on it and seeing like what where's the vocal melody that we want to say, or what's even the bass line once I have the chords. But yeah, usually I'm starting with music with the chords, and sometimes it's as much as just 2 chords, go back and forth.
Yeah.
I try to keep that part simple.
I like 2-chord songs. They're good.
Me too. I think that as long as both chords are good,
Yeah.
you're in good shape.
You know, where you hold on one chord for a while, usually like 2 to 4 bars, maybe even 8 bars, and then you go to the other one and just back and forth, like just even.
Yeah.
There's a lot you can do over the top of that with different melodies and things too that makes it kind of interesting, and it has a nice kind of tension to it and simplicity.
I would say this too is like, if you make something is complex in the beginning, the least you're limiting how many things will go with it.
Oh,
So if you keep it simple in the beginning, lots more options going forward.
so true.
So
Yeah,
I think
not every
that's-
part can be complex, right? I
Nope.
mean, if it is, it's just going to be a noodle soup of mess the whole way through. I used to think that when
Yeah.
I was first starting out writing. I'm sure some people can relate to this, where whatever part you're working on, whether it's the bass line or the drums or the lead or something, you're trying to pull out every trick in the book. You go, I'm going to do that new complicated rhythm thing I learned. Then I'm going to do that complicated pitch thing, that complicated sound design thing. Then I'm going to throw on some complicated plug-in thing, which glitches it out. And it's all going to get so watered down because it's just too much over the top, and then nothing stands out from anything. And where you're so much better off having intentionally deciding what things are going to be simple and what things are going to be complex. And usually if you're going to have anything complex, almost everything else kind of needs to be simple at that moment in the background.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, to support it.
Yeah, exactly. Or I feel like I see this too, and we talk a little bit about this sometimes, but where someone has like they like a certain thing, right? And they're like, oh, I like these kinds of basses, but whatever all the things that they like, they need something to go to complement those things, because their palette is almost not full.
Yeah.
It's a lot of the same stuff, and they're trying to put the same things next to each other or on top of each other, and that often runs into. So I'm just like, you have to diversify your palette more and know when to pull out a stylized sound. Not every sound could be stylized, because it's almost like super stylized sounds kind of like a lead.
Yeah.
Even if it isn't.
Totally. You get this a lot with preset packs and the presets that come with synths. I don't think, understandably, a lot of people don't realize, but these presets are designed just to show off what's possible with the synth, not necessarily because they're a good bass sound. And then, yeah, like you said, they're so stylized and so over the top, massively wide and full of frequencies and modulation and layers. And you try to write music with them and it just sounds terrible, and you can't fit things in, and it's really hard to mix when so often you just need your bread and butter sounds, simple stuff that just sounds solid, supports the foundation, and then maybe one sound or something at a time has a bit more complexity or something, right?
Exactly. I would say too that those bread and butter sounds, the ones that are pretty simple, this is the difference between the two of how to I really tell them is like, the bread and butter sounds, they can be good in more range than the ones that are heavily sound designed. The ones that are heavily sound designed, they probably sound good at like 5 notes, 3 to 5 notes, like really good, depending on the parameters, of course. But I'm just saying that, the bread and butter sounds are like a real instrument. They play multiple octaves.
Yeah. Like how a piano is always a piano and can be used in so many songs, in so many styles, in so many ways.
Yep.
Yeah.
Or a guitar, or any string instrument,
Totally,
Yeah.
totally. So, and I guess the synth equivalent's like a simple monosynth, just a filtered saw wave or a filtered square wave. You would be surprised what you can do with it. And I think you'd be surprised how many tracks sounds like that are being used in. And these bread and butter sounds, you can use them over and over again in so many songs. And they're just supporting in a nice way that you wouldn't even really notice. You need a couple of them, and you can use them to help fill out your tracks and support them. And it saves you time too, because they're quick and easy, and you can reuse them so much. And then you can have your more sort of stylized, unique sound from one track to another if you want, depending on your genre.
Yeah, and you're allowing the space to the attention to go somewhere else, and that could just be doing a job somewhere.
Exactly.
Yeah, I think that's Yeah, that's a big one that I think when people really clicks for them, I think, because it's not for lack of trying. Some of these guys are grinding, and I see it in feedback and with newer producers a lot.
Totally.
Or not necessarily newer. Sometimes they've been doing it a long time and they don't. That's just like the last little clicky thing that gets, and then they're got their sound choice down, kind of thing.
Yeah. Well, you don't normally know this stuff until somebody points it out, right? Like there's so many unknowns when you're trying to figure out music production by yourself, and there's things people will do for years until we help them out, and when they finally come to us and we go, hey, we can help you. You don't need to do that, or there's a different way, and then it all starts clicking. Was there anything, like this that maybe you used to do, but you definitely don't do anymore?
Putting too much bass and everything?
Yeah, but too much bass is awesome, man.
Yeah, I think I'm kind of moving away from everything having to be super bassy. Because I listen to my old stuff sometimes and I'm like, man, why does that kick have to be so big? But not... Yeah, I think that's just a common thing everyone does.
And it makes sense, right? Because it sounds exciting at the time. You feel like, whoa, it's really bumping in my headphones or my speakers. And you don't realize, unless you're doing things with referencing and all that kind of stuff at the time, that it's not just giving you more bass. It's really taking away stuff from the mids and the treble, right?
Yeah. So when that thing happens, if some of your parts disappear, you're running out of room, Yeah, I think that's the tall tale, is like, does things change in volume? Does things disappear when that comes on? That means that is setting off the limiter and taking over everything. So, yeah. But I just talk like it could even be a lot more subtle than that.
Yeah.
Just really subtly too much bass in one spot, and it sounds... You can't listen to it on certain speakers or something. It sounds like shit.
Yeah.
But I'm not saying every time, but yeah, there's so many variables in all this, and I would say too, I've started working more on just laptop speakers.
Ah, interesting.
I kind of like I think if you can make it sound good in laptop speakers and you don't have bass.
Yeah.
Really, so it kind of takes that off there. Takes it out of the equation. And I think it's good to change your environment, and that fixes that problem. Usually, is my.
I agree. I think there's a lot of benefit from that, because whatever you're doing has to be bold enough to translate on these tiny speakers, interesting enough to come through. There's nothing. You're not going to get caught up on too much subtlety, right? It has to be solid. We're looking at the macro here, and also you could never fool yourself into thinking it's great just because it has a lot of bass in it. It has to carry the bass, because that's easier to put in later.
Yep. Yeah, of course. And I feel like I used to start with drums a lot. Not anymore. I start with music more than anything. The idea of what's the music, what's the concept.
Yep.
I kind of start that way more so than just baking some drums and being like, okay, I have a 4/4 and upbeats and a little, shuttery hat and all the things that every song basically. I was like, that's the easy part.
Yeah.
I know it's always the fun part, but that's the part that, like, I don't know. Once you do it enough, I think it does make the track, but it doesn't inspire the music.
Yeah, I know what you mean, especially coming from me being a drummer, and drums was always the easiest part for me when I was writing music, even right back to the beginning. So I was always thinking, when it's time to do the drums, this is going to be no problem. I can hear them in my head already. What am I going to do for the music? Is that kind of like what you're thinking as well?
Yeah. Just because I've been writing more songs, I think emotion is what you want.
Oh, yeah.
You want a feeling. You want that feeling to be like, that's the song, the feeling of that. And even if you just go up and down and you try to play different chords, even if you don't know music, just go until you play 3 notes that you like and be like, why do I like this? Why does it sound so good?
Yeah.
I think I encourage people to try that when you're writing, and even if you don't know anything.
Absolutely. Because the choice of notes, the pitch of them that you put in dictates the emotion.
And all you need is 2.
Yeah. Yeah, really. I mean, could do one, but it's a type of emotion, that much emotion. Yeah. But yeah, actually, another thing about if you're doing drums first, I wanted to mention too, putting down drums first kind of defines your path a bit. It defines what's possible and limits you a little bit. Whereas if you keep it more sparse, you might do things you never expected. Like if you always lay down the same kind of kick, hats, clap, whatnot, like you're talking about, yeah, it kind of sets things up to, you've already got a tempo, you're already putting things in certain spots. Yeah, if you leave that open, just only use a kick or nothing, just nothing at all. And then write the music bit and then see what kind of drums would complement this.
Or I would say this too, another reason why I've been leaving the drums for last is because I spent a lot of time curating my samples and samplers, kicks and claps, and I could go and grab, that's already kind of figured out, and when I need to go, I'll go and get them. I don't have to spend hours looking through for stuff.
Yeah,
I've already done that.
Exactly. It's that preparation that helps so much.
Yep. Yeah, I would say that's a big one. And I was going to say too is maybe just starting with a kick. It would be the only exception. It's just so you can write to a click instead, rather than the metronome. You could throw a kick in there, but that's always could be replaced easily at the end too.
Yeah.
But yeah, these are all things that I guess now from teaching and helping so many people finish songs, I don't ever really. I guess you could practice what you preach, right?
Yeah, right. Exactly. Yeah, and having all those sounds pre-prepped like that, it's going to give you that confidence. Now that you know how to pick the right sounds, you have them ready. Sonically, great drum sounds, and not too many, just the good ones. You can write quickly and knock those drums out, right?
Even if I used to do top 128s, because that's how many you could fit into a sampler, and that's plenty. It's probably too much.
It's too much.
It's too much. But I'm saying you could say you did different genres though. You say you could split that into four. You could say four different sounds. Like maybe you have
for different genres.
Up here.
Sure.
Yeah. So like I would say this is one thing too that I've been doing differently is having a lot of space between my stuff because I've been slowing down a lot. And that makes me write. Tempo. I've been just really not being stuck to the fast hit house stuff, and I've even been doing some stuff where I go to like 61 halftime in the middle of the song, and it still goes back to house music eventually, but I've been liking the halftime thing a lot.
Nice.
Just because
How does that change your beat writing when you're writing at these slower speeds and your choice of sounds and things like that?
I mean, it kind of goes back to flipping a lot of bootlegs and stuff and doing halftime things and songs, making house music out of songs that were never meant to be house music, and songs that are like 70 to sometimes 65 or BPM, and then just doubling the time, and it doesn't change the song too much, and then it's like, whoa, that's a whole new thing.
Yeah.
And you could get into sampling it and stuff. So I do have that. I'm just more comfortable going slower. So yeah, I've been playing around halftime stuff more and making all different tempos and loving the space in between, because it's like you don't realize how much room there is for activities between there.
So much room for activities. There's so much room for swing and groove too. The slower your tempo, I find that's when I have more opportunity to mess around with things being slightly off grid here and there if it benefits the song and the groove. Whereas the faster you go, can't really do it. You don't really hear much loose timing in drum and bass, for instance. It's just too fast.
No. Or it's really hard to make Dilla style house music.
Yeah. Even at like 120, 125, you can't have it that loose, really.
Yeah. Not on the downbeat or the upbeat, I would say. That at the and those things got to be straight on in house music. And so just love playing around with like exactly, swinging and just making it feel live and just like raw.
Amazing. I love it, man.
I love that.
I love it. And it's so good that you still fit in all your training with your mentor students for our school in between too, helping so many people. You've been doing it a ton for a while for us now, for years actually. Have you noticed any common light bulb moments students have been hitting lately?
Let's see. I'm just thinking of one in particular just because we just got out of a session. But yeah, I think Just his sound selection and sketches have become so amazing. Like everything that he shows me now is good. And I think that, yeah, he just focusing on the big picture thing, and hundreds of sketches later, all of them are good.
Wow.
So I think just stick with it and keep making these little sketches, and yeah, nailing those. My 4 big picture things is nailing the composition, rhythm and melody, and then defining the breakdowns and drop, like just making the breakdown feel like a breakdown, making the drop feel like it's everything I've ever wanted, and then having, maybe a variation of more or less of what you've already showed me. So either strip back or everything all together, playing together. It's like maybe that's the grand finale, or maybe that's the moment where it feels really good stripped back or something. And then the last thing is just a hook. What do you call it? And if you can nail those 4 things, you can make a song out of it. It doesn't need to be longer than a minute. It could just be really, really good. All of those things, 1 minute long. I'll make a whole track out of it.
That's so crucial, right? So many people I see when they first come to the school, they're either not incorporating hooks, they haven't experimented with them yet, or maybe they're just not clear about what a hook is, or they might think it's too cheesy or something. They don't realize a hook can be cool. Do you find that too?
Yeah, I mean, they often think hooks have to be pop music, and there's hooks everywhere in all music.
Yeah.
The only music that doesn't really have hooks is maybe cinematic stuff, and even that has tons of hooks in it. But I'm just saying, like, maybe it's not like a song, the traditional song. It's just backgrounds or like ambiance or whatever you call the film score and stuff.
Yeah.
But even that has tons of hooks in it.
Some of it especially, some of it's incredibly catchy. Yeah, it's amazing. But I know what you mean. But yeah, I mean, even underground techno, full of hooks. Drum and bass, it's full of hooks. There's a reason why we love the songs we love. And I think if you're writing some kind of underground style and you've been hesitant to test out hooks because you thought they were too cheesy, it's time to dig into some of your favorite tracks and start really identifying what the hooks are in these underground tracks, because they are there and there's ways to do it, them more memorable, more engaging. And I find it's one of the main things like A&Rs that record labels are looking for when they first listen to the track.
And you need those things for people to explain it to them, for it to live on. What was that song that you played?
Yeah.
It goes like this. But I would say that...
Because it's up to you after a gig and goes, hey, what was that song you played that sounds like every other song I've ever heard?
Yeah. I was listening to some... I was like eating the other day in a pub, and some song came on, and I was like thinking, everything in this song is a hook. If you listen to these drums, you'd know that's this song.
Yeah, Gene or something straight away, right?
Yeah. It was some 80s song. I can't remember, but it had like something you can mimic with your mouth. It had the hooky chorusy thing. It had like drums that made you want to like move a certain way. I was just like, man, everything in this song is like, that's why it's still being played 40, 50 years later.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's pop music, and I understand that. You just need one of those hooks. You don't need every single thing to be hooky.
Totally. But you could potentially still do an underground dance track where every instrument was hooky. Yeah. And if you...
And then it would...
I bet we could find some if we had a dig later, but I can't think of one off the top of my head.
Exactly. But I'm saying, and that would be the one that would be something we're still talking about to this day.
Yeah, and people would still be playing, and it's the kind of track that DJs would drop even years after maybe the hype died down, because it's memorable and people go crazy straight away. And often with those tracks too, even if you never heard it when it was popular the first time, you love it that first time you heard it when they finally...
Yeah, you remember... You almost remember where you were and stuff, and like remember what you were wearing first time I heard that song or something.
Exactly. So important, man. Yeah, it's so good. Yeah. Are there any things you keep in mind in your process of when you're making hooks or looking for hooks? Yeah,
kind of what I said earlier about just feeling like a record. When it feels like a record, or it gives me the idea of like, this is the thing that it's missing or that I need. Yeah, it's usually that last little thing, and is what people wait for. Or it could be just some shouty thing right before a drop that says one word. and it's like that song that says that one thing. But some hooks are a little more hidden. I kind of like those sometimes where you don't even realize it's there, but you're like, it's just kind of
but it gets stuck in your head.
Like I feel like a snake in a flute, it's like
charming you. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, you got loads of great hooks in your remixes and bootlegs and stuff. All the ones I've heard that always do. You're always picking out great tracks, great song choices that you choose to remix and bootleg. Have you been doing any cheeky edits or remixes for your DJ sets lately?
Yeah. Let's see, what's the last one I was doing? Oh, I did one I've done it a few times, but Time of the Season. It's the time. The Zombies.
Oh, yep.
I've always wanted to do that because it was definitely like sounds like something I would do. But I finally got it where it feels really good, and I just kind of kept it really simple. But I might end up doing a cover of that someday, and because I feel like it has a really cool Rhodes solo, and there's just something about the formula of what they're doing that I feel like I could make a deep house version of that. Would be cool.
Amazing.
But yeah, there's a bunch of other ones. I also did a halftime one with the Flamingos, I Only Have Eyes for You, and that's a triplety one, and it was after I did some triplety stuff with Dr. Jimbo, and but that one on halftime, but for some reason it feels really cool with the triplety, like dun, dun. That song
I think I know the one.
Yeah, it's very like a love song, but I do like those songs like that.
It's crazy with what you can flip, especially these days with all the AI tools and stuff as well. You got any favorite things for stripping stems and stuff?
Yeah, so if I'm in a hurry and there's different ones for different things. I like AI.
Oh, yeah, I know.
Lalo.
Yep.
That one's like probably wins the most for quality, but it takes the longest because you can only do one part at a time. And it's probably the most expensive because you have to buy time, and you can't just buy it outright and do it as many times as you want. But it's gotten better. I feel like that one has gotten better since I started using it. The other one I like to use is Moises.
Yeah.
That one's really good, and you could split. It gives you different categories and stuff. So you could say I want a background and a lead vocal. I want the drums split into stems. Or you want just the drums. You could pick what instruments you want, and it does it pretty quick. Another thing I like about that one is it tells you if it's 440 hertz or not. So some songs are not, in the middle tuned to 440. So you can kind of adjust sense, and in between, it's pretty accurate.
Amazing.
So I found that one pretty helpful. It tells you what key it's in and stuff. I think too, sometimes when you're trying to figure out what key, this is something I run into or think about. A lot of times things are labeled wrong.
Oh, yeah.
I would say 40% of the time, it's not what it says it is.
Yep.
And I know it sucks when people say this, but just use your ears. Yeah. No, but you could figure these things out with mixed in key. There's a studio edition, but then also just trying to look at in an EQ and see what harmonics are there, where are the peaks, and then drag your mouse to where those peaks are, and then play it and be like, what chord is that?
Yeah. Some good tips if you're not comfortable picking it out by ear just yet, which is totally understandable unless you've grew up playing piano or something. That takes time. I'd still say I would encourage people to try because it's a good way to practice. You can still use the tools, but give yourself a couple of minutes and take your best guess, and then use the software tools and tips with EQs and things, and to check, see how you went.
Yeah. No, I think that that's a really good idea, because the sooner you do it, the better you're going to get. Yeah. And just like any other skill, it's totally teachable.
Yeah.
You could learn this thing, and you just have to do it by practice.
Exactly. I think when I was first starting out, it was just a mystery to me how people would do that so well. I thought it was maybe almost like a natural talent only. I couldn't just learn this over time. And I even remember this specific moment of people even calling out frequencies, like back when I was in my band when I was a teenager, and our producers like calling out in the studio, add a little bit of 1K to those toms there or something. And I'm like, you can't just like hear what frequency it needs and just dial that in. But now I do that every day.
Yeah.
helping our students and on my own tracks and with probably way more precision than that producer ever did too.
Yeah. No, I can hear it too, and just hearing it kicking, oh, it has this much or too much here. And wasn't always able to do that. And it's just by someone pointing it out to you though, you can learn it.
Yeah.
You know, you just have to know what to listen for.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And there are some interesting kind of frequencies that do pop up kind of often, even though with dance music we're using different sounds and different synths all the time, not like say a rock band. There's lots of techniques that people come up with for mixing because it's a bass guitar is often quite similar more or less to another bass. There's techniques that go, this is going to work on most snare drums, this is going to work on most overhead mics, stuff like this. But in dance music it's like everything's different every time. but there are a few frequencies that over the years we found that things to look out for and to keep in mind, and it helps by this is if you just think about it as in we have everything from 20 hertz up to 20 kilohertz, you will just be overwhelmed thinking about all that space. But man, yeah, I love what you're doing with the remixes. You've had so much success with that and with the bootlegs as well too. What would you say to producers out there that haven't tried doing any bootlegs or remixes yet? What kind of advice would you give to them?
I definitely encourage doing it because you can really discover what you like and how your sound out of it by taking other songs that you already love, but making them your own. And then doing that enough times with songs you love, I think it really does show you what you sound like because it's all your choices added up.
Yeah.
And the more you trust your taste all the way through the process, the more it's going to sound like you.
Very true.
And I think that that's why I often, so when someone's trying to figure out what they sound like or what's their unique identity, I might give them like, what are your favorite songs? Who's your favorite artist? Who's your favorite drummer? Who's your favorite guitar player? Do you have a favorite? If you start like narrowing this down a little bit, and you say in any genre, and like try to build a band. Build your like dream band. If you could have this person on singing, this person playing that and this instrument. Another thing I like to do is with this band, imagine you had to go on tour and you had to, what instruments are you going to bring on tour? Is that going to do the job for all the songs? And who's going to play that? And you're going to pay somebody to be in the background, super quiet of your song?
Yeah.
Probably not. It's all
just once. Yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, I think that also, if you think of music like that and electronic music like that, it really does simplify things and it helps you focus on the things that are important.
Yeah, very true, man. Great advice. Great advice in general, all around, as always. We might have to wrap it up for today, but it's been awesome having you back on the show again, man. We got to do it again soon. What do you reckon?
Thanks again, brother. Yeah, I'm here whenever, and I love doing this. And anytime I get to hang out with you, I'm always down.
Likewise. Yeah, I want to hear more stories about what you're up to with the remixing, the bootlegging, and this new project you're working on as well, too. Sounds super interesting.
I think I'm going to start leaking some stuff out here soon. But yeah, just going to take my time. But I'm really excited about the new stuff we've been recording here in London and stuff. So yeah, I'm excited to share.
Amazing. I can't wait to hear it and for everyone else to hear it as well too, man. For anyone listening that wants to, by the way, yeah, if you want to take your music deeper, if you want to go to another level, that's what we do. Check out our school, basskleph.com. We'll help you finish songs fast, get that pro sound, help you with your remix, your bootlegs, your music theory and everything. That's all up at basskleph.com. Got a whole bunch of courses and we do mentoring as well too. Myself and Travis and a few other people like Tommy Trash and John Pegnato. You'll find all the info up there online, or just leave us a question down below and we'll answer it there as well too. But Travis, once again, thanks for coming on the show. Always a pleasure. Take care, man, and looking forward to next time.
Of course. Thanks for having me. See you.
See you, man.